All right, get ready, because we're diving into a world of wickedness today.
Wickedness.
But with a furry, or scaled, or even feathered twist.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We're talking Disney villain pets.
Oh, I see. Those classic Disney villain pets.
You sent us this list, and clearly you're onto something here.
Yeah, I'm really excited to dig into this. These sidekicks, they're not just there for laughs or to look menacing, right? I think they often reveal something deeper about the villain,
Totally.
about their motivations, their personality even.
Yeah, the list creator was pointing out things like how iconic they are,
Right.
your personality, and how the pet actually helps the villain's evil schemes.
Exactly.
But I really want to go beyond just the surface here.
Yeah, let's unpack it.
Like, what makes these pairings work so well?
Yeah.
For instance, they've got Sir Hiss at number 4.
Okay.
I mean, he's funny,
Uh-huh.
but more iconic than, say, the hyenas from Lion King.
Hmm.
I know.
Well, you bring up a good point, and it's interesting to think about how these pets really do become extensions of the villains themselves.
Yes.
And a perfect example of that is Diablo, Maleficent's raven. He's at the top of the list, and for good reason.
Oh, absolutely.
He's like her shadow,
He's always watching.
always lurking.
You almost forget that he's a bird,
Right.
not just like some magical projection of Maleficent's will.
Exactly. It's no accident. Disney often uses these animal sidekicks to visually represent a villain's true nature.
Mm.
And Diablo really embodies this, like, evil eye motif.
Okay.
It's a symbol you see throughout folklore, representing curses and envy.
Oh, wow.
So he's not just her eyes.
Right.
He's this watchful gaze,
Yeah.
reinforcing her theme of power and control.
That's fascinating. I never even thought about it that way before. And it's not just Diablo, right? What about Ursula's eels, Flotsam and Jetsam? They're like extensions of her, too, but creepier.
Yeah, definitely more unsettling. With Flotsam and Jetsam, it's that shared eye. It really gets under your skin.
Yeah.
It reminds me of those 3 witches in Macbeth,
Oh, yeah.
or a 2-headed serpent, which in a lot of cultures
Oh,
represents temptation and deception.
Right.
They embody her manipulative power, always whispering in her ear.
So we're talking about pets being extensions of the villain.
Yes.
Where does a character like Iago fit into all of this?
Oh, interesting.
Because he's got his own personality,
Right.
his own agenda.
Yeah, and even his own ambitions.
Remember that line? Jafar, Jafar, he's our man. If you can't do it, great. I mean, he's almost as ambitious as Jafar.
He is. And Iago brings up a really good point about how sometimes those pets actually kind of undermine the villains.
Interesting.
He's driven by his own resentment of the Sultan,
Right.
which actually mirrors Jafar's thirst for power.
Okay.
So they both want something they feel has been unjustly denied to them,
Right.
and that creates a very volatile partnership. It's
Yeah.
much more interesting than just, oh, here's the villain and his loyal pet.
Right. It's definitely not a simple relationship.
It's complicated.
It's a complicated relationship for sure. Which brings us back to Sir Hiss,
Okay.
who, let's not forget, is constantly trying to warn Prince John,
Yeah, about Robin Hood.
only to be, well, completely ignored.
Maybe that's why he's so high on the list.
Right.
Because he highlights how incompetent of a ruler Prince John really is.
Exactly.
I mean, Sir Hiss is definitely a comedic element.
Yes.
But he also represents, I think, the voice of reason
Right.
that Prince John just ignores,
Yes.
making him more important than you might initially think.
That's a good point.
It reminds us that even villains need advisors.
Yes.
And their downfall might come from
Right.
choosing to surround themselves with yes men
Okay.
instead of those who challenge them.
It's like that saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Maybe these villains should have paid attention to what their pets were telling them.
Absolutely.
And speaking of enemies, how about those hyenas from Lion King?
Oh, yeah. Shenzi, Banzai, and Ed. It's hilarious.
On the surface, yeah.
Yeah.
But they represent something much more terrifying.
Well, yeah, when you really think about it,
Yeah.
what are they all about?
Well, they represent that mob mentality
Okay.
and the dangers of unchecked power.
Right.
Really, their driving force is their baser instincts.
Yeah.
Hunger, greed,
Right.
just a desire for dominance.
It makes them so easy to manipulate.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
Scar uses that desperation
Yeah.
and their resentment.
To get power for himself.
Exactly, to seize power.
It's such a difference from the loyalty we see from, say, Lucifer and Cinderella.
Oh, Lady Tremaine's cat.
He's all about that subtle, calculated cruelty,
Just like his owner.
just like Lady Tremaine.
He embodies that pettiness and cruelty
Yeah.
that fuels her actions.
Right.
Think about it. He's always tormenting the mice.
Yeah.
Just like Lady Tremaine torments Cinderella.
It's subtle, but effective.
Very.
Yeah.
It makes her even more unlikable.
So we've got pets as extensions of the villain,
Pets who undermine the villain,
right?
and pets who almost embody their motivations.
It's really amazing.
It's incredible how much thought went into these characters.
It makes you appreciate the artistry behind Disney storytelling.
For sure.
These seemingly minor characters actually contribute so much to our understanding of the villains and the themes of the films.
It really does make you wonder, if the heroes had pets, what would they be like?
Oh, that's a good question.
What kind of animal would you choose for, say, Aladdin
Hmm.
or Mulan?
That's a thought-provoking question. I think I'll have to ponder that one for a while.
Me too.
It's fascinating to think about, isn't it?
It is. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
Always a pleasure.